Hello, welcome to Should I Buy This Game? Featuring the Ugly Gryphon Inn. My name is Christine, and in this video I'll give you a brief description on how the game is played, and then I'll share a few things I may like or dislike about the game to help you decide if you want to add the Ugly Gryphon Inn to your collection. Here we have the Ugly Gryphon Inn, and it is an 18-card game from Button Shy Games, and it comes in a little wallet like this, which makes it really easy to travel with. So in this game, we start with bar patrons. And so we have 4 people having drinks and food at the bar. And because they've been drinking, they're a little tired and they need to go to the inn. But let's just read. So here it's like, if there's 3 goblins in the inn, they have a problem. This is if there's an equal amount of food and beer in the inn, they have a problem. If there is no beer in the inn, they have a problem. And if there are 3 or more beer in the bar, they have a problem. So I'm going to start with the Rusty Ranger. And he's going to make himself over here to the inn. And so if we look at, as we just read, if there are 3 or more beer in the bar, we look back here, we have a food, a beer, and a food. So the Rusty Ranger is happy to stay in the inn. But in walks the Drunken Dwarf. Now down here in the red, we have what they're called quirks. So we look, there's 1, 2 of those, 2 of these. Oh, there's 3 of this quirk. We look over here though, and he only responds to noise. So it's okay. The quirks aren't going to bother this guy. So somebody needs to move to the inn. So let's pick the Drunken Dwarf. He's already drunk enough. He's going to move here. So his thing is, if there are 4 or more beer in the inn, there is 2 beers already, but not 4 or more. And if there are 3 or more beer in the bar, we look, it's 2 food, a beer, and just 2 food and a beer. So everybody's still happy. So in walks the Goblin Triplet, another one of them. So we look here at the quirks, we have 2, 1, so 2 and 2. So we do not have 3 of the same quirks, so nobody is quirked. So we will move, let's move somebody else in. The Stress Guy. Okay, so now we have beer. So he has, if there is no beer in the inn, there's beer in the inn, all right. If there are 4 or more beer, there is not. And if there are more beer, or 3 or more beer in the bar, we are still good with that. 2 food, 1 beer. Now in walks the Bunny Prince. So now let's look at our quirks. Oh, there is 3 noise quirks, and the Rusty Ranger does not like noise. So because of that, the Ranger opens up the window and attempts his trick shots. Irk the patron 2 rooms below. Well, he is at the bottom, so he's not kicking anybody out. But if he was up higher, we'd kick out somebody. So who are we adding this time? Let's add in one of the goblins. So he comes up here. There's 3 more goblins. There is not. If there is no beer, there is beer. If there are 4 or more, there is not. And if there are more than 3 beer in the bar, there is not. So far we're doing good. Oh, the Fasting Monk. His thing is, if there is food directly above or below this room, so he wants to be surrounded by beer. So he will not be moving in next. But because of that, let's move this guy in. So he has, if there is an equal amount of food and beer in the inn. So we have 3 beers, 2 food. So no. If there are 3 goblins, no. If there is no beer, no. If there are 4 or more beer, not yet. And if there are 3 or more beer in the bar. So we are on a roll. But now we welcome the War Bear. So let's look at the Irks. We have lots of noise Irks. And it's still the Rusty Ranger. And as we learned last time, there's nobody below him. So he's not kicking anybody out. So let's move the fasting monk. So he has, if there is food directly below or above. So no, we made sure there was beer. If there is an equal amount of food and beer in the inn. So 1, 2, 3, 4 beers, 2 food. If there are 3 goblins, if there is no beer, if there are 4 or more beer in the inn. There is 4 or more beer in the inn. So what happens? The dwarf leaves drunkenly. He goes out the window instead of the door and lands on a patron waiting outside. Remove the top card from the deck from the game. So we're down a patron. He leaves the inn. Everybody moves down. And then if there are 3 or more beer in the bar, and there is not. So let's do one more, see what happens. The lazy sorcerer. If the sorcerer is on the 5th floor or higher, well, she would be. So I guess she's not going to enter the bar or enter the inn at this point. Okay, so how about, oh, first we look at the quirks. It's still the noise quirk, and it's still only the one person that wants noise. So let's add another goblin. So only if there's 3 goblins, there's 2 at the top moment. Food, oh, there's food directly above the room. And this monk leaves quietly. Bye-bye. So we're down again. So if there is an equal amount of food and beer, there's 1, 2, 3 to 2. So we're good. There's only 2 if there is no beer. And if there are 3 or more beer, there is 2. Well, oh, sorry. We'll put it over here. So if there is noise directly above or below the room, oh, she will not want to be near the goblins then. So how about if there is more food? Okay, let's try the bunny. Oh, the quirks. Let's see. There were no 3 times quirks, so we're good. Remove the bunny. If there is more beer than food in the inn, we only have 2 beers left, so she's good. We know there's only 2 goblins. There is not an equal amount. There's 2 goblins. There is beer, and there is only 2 beers. So basically, here we'll add another one. So basically, that's how it goes. You're going to check out the irks. If there's 3 irks, you look over to your guests to see what is irking them. So for example, if this one came up, this goblin reminds brothers of a childhood brawl. The old brawl starts again, and all the goblins in the inn leave. If the prince leaves on his way out, he hops around madly. All patrons in the inn irked by noise leave too. So they have different irks like that, and then you will come, especially as you get more people. And the goal is to get, I think, 7 people for beginner level and 8 people once you master the game, 8 or higher. And that's just how it works. Each game's a little different depending when these come up and who you move to the inn and who's above them. And it's just a simple little fun game like that. The art is great with all the little characters, and it's just sort of a funny little game. So check out the Ugly Gryphon Inn. I'm going to finish the game and show you what I come up with. So I finished the game, and I only ended up with 6 patrons in the inn. First, the bunny got knocked out, and on his way out, he took everybody irked by noise, and half my inn walked away. And then the sensitive hunter came, and he left some food behind, and everybody irked by food left. And in the end, I was left with 6 patrons in my inn, so I did not win. But it is possible I have won before. And once again, that is the Ugly Gryphon Inn by Button Shy Games.